My first mentor had a saying: you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. I know, I know, this is not politically correct. And at the same time, it's pretty much true. In today's world, we keep hearing there aren't enough employees to go around. Much of the press has been blaming the enhanced unemployment benefits. In the whataboutism world we live in, other media have come up with all sorts of other reasons. But here's something I know. I've seen more than one person leave a job and get a similar position at a much higher salary. I've even seen this happen when people have been fired from their job, move to a new job, and get a 20% bump in salary. Then, there are the articles that talk about how service businesses have raised their starting rate to over $15 per hour. And most of those have been, it's really too much money. Why should we be paying those? But when we first saw this happen, the businesses that did that had a line out the door with employees wanting to come to work. It wasn't a worker shortage so much as it was a pay shortage and a benefits and work conditions shortages. So no longer is $15 going to work especially well. Now it's more like $17 or $18 an hour, which I'm seeing in the places that only 18 months ago were at $15 an hour. So it makes one wonder whether the expectations of our frontline employees have changed. Now, the truth is that the pandemic has changed expectations. We know employees have more choices in how they work. It used to be you got a job and went to the office, your factory or job site, and started work. Well, the pandemic forced many of us out of the office and into our homes. We learned to like it. And the thought of going back to an office was just not very attractive. Then there are reports of people quitting their jobs because their work opportunities have grown. No longer do you have to live in the town you work. Instead, you could even be across the country or even across the world. Now we're seeing people employers try to get their workers back in the office. And you know what? It's not going so well. There's some issues with that. People have gotten used to working in their house. They've been working remotely. They're used to it. They like it. And frankly, in my experience, if you know how to manage results, it's not such a bad thing. Now, this is not true for our blue-collar frontline workers, but it is true for the administrative staff. If you're having a hard time holding on to your people, start talking with your team members about their expectations. I bet you'll learn something you might not want to hear, and you're just going to have to deal with it. Too many employers are expecting their employees will happily return to the office. Life is not likely to go back to what it was before the pandemic, at least in the world of employment. So, what stage do you think we are at in this great pandemic transition? My friend Susan Bradley has developed a model about transitions that I think is really important. She's broken down transitions into 4 stages. And the 4 stages are anticipation. You know a change is coming. You're not sure what it's going to mean, but you know it's coming. Ending. Whatever it was that was normal for you is now over. Sometimes ending is an event, and sometimes ending goes for a long period of time. If you own a business and you're selling it, ending could last for 9 months or longer. Going through a pandemic, well, the ending from what we used to have to what we have now, that's gone for several years. We'll see how long it goes. Then we move into passage, where you're moving through a significant transition in your life, and your world just seems upside down all the time. It's a very difficult piece to go through. It's where you're going from where you were to where you're going to be in the future. And finally, we get to the new normal, where life is predictable again. You've made the change in your life that allow you to move through your transition, hopefully through your transition successfully. Susan and the Financial Transitions Institute folks have been talking about which of the 4 stages we are in. Susan believes, and I think I agree, that we're still at the ending of where we were. I don't think we're really quite at passage still, because we're still trying to figure out, have we ended? Have we not ended? Are we moving on? Are we not moving on? And we're starting to move into passage more than we were a year ago, certainly, but I'm not sure we're there yet. Although it does appear in certain areas like employment, we might be there. The world still feels more than a little upside down, and I expect it'll feel that way for a while. I'm curious about what your thoughts are. Are you feeling a new normal has arrived, or are you still trying to figure out what the future is going to hold? Did you know there are two sides to your business? In my first book, I talked about economic sustainability for your business. The economic side is all about the dollars and cents, and the personal side is more subtle, just as important as the economic side. That's the part where you think about what you're doing at work. Is it enjoyable? Are you feeling burned out? If so, you need to pay attention to how you're spending your time. It's also why you need to pay attention to the personal side with your team members. Without doing this, there's a better than even chance you're going to lose people when you shouldn't. It appears to me the rules of work are changing. No longer do employers have the upper hand. Right now, our team members do. This will likely swing back a bit as the Fed fights inflation, and at the same time, we need to understand the rising generations have different expectations than we do with what they want from any work that they do. So if you're a boomer like me, it's time for us to stop whining about the rising generation and do our best to meet them where they are. So I put together a great ebook on hiring for unique abilities. To get it, just click on the link below this video and we'll have it on its way to you. I'm sure you'll find it valuable and just might help you attract and keep the type of team member that you want that will make your company shine. Hey, this is Josh Patrick. You're at The Sustainable Business. Thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope to see you back here really soon.